Check this out, guys. Hi guys, 4,500 rounds on the WBP FOX import from Poland, and what 1,000 rounds it was. I have to tell you, this rifle took some beating, and we had to do it that way. I'll explain in a moment. So of course today I promise you to do the drops on this rifle. As always, we drop on this side first, then on the charging handle side, and finally we complete the drop test on the magazine, and then I try to shoot whatever happens. So after the first round of drops, I try to shoot it, and I think one round, if I remember this correctly, one round went off, and that's it. The trigger was dead, died on me. So I popped the dust cover and quickly discovered that the malfunction was caused by the slippage of the trigger spring. This happens from time to time. The Century Arms AKOU trigger. It happens especially when you are introducing those side shocks, and of course it happened on this drop test. Come here so you will have a good background. So this is okay, the spring went down, that's nothing. It happens, and okay, so there you go. It's just the spring should be like here, see, but spring moved from the shock, from the drops, and it went here, went on the side. So I have to dig the spring out, put it back here. But excuses, right? So I had to repeat the drop test. That's what I'm saying. The rifle took a lot of punishment. I did the drops again, and in the middle of the X-Tech magazine, the rifle jammed on one of the rounds. So at this point, I would say that poor WBP FOX could not finish the drop test. But I think this time this was the fault of the magazine. So something didn't jelly with it very well. But regardless, the results are, you know, what they are. I do not see any damages. The front post is holding up nicely. The stock is not, you know, broken or wobbling or anything. But the rifle, you know, jammed twice because of the trigger first time, and the second time because of the magazine. So it is what it is. This is the real life show, guys. Still, other than this, I did not register any malfunctions, and in this 1,000 rounds I was using the Wolf hollow points, I was using a Golden Tiger full metal jacket, and the Wolf full metal jacket, and Tula rounds. So everything was working fine, and the rifle was cycling. Also, I did some dipping in the water just for fun, again, over and over and over again. And I'm happy to report, guys, that I do not see any rust peeping through the finish. And this was not the first time when the Fox was swimming in the water. So that's kind of good. That's kind of you know, I like to see that. Sometimes you see the rust developing on those rifles right away, but the finish is holding up. It's not beautiful, as you can see. We are, you know, missing some pieces of the paint and things like this, but it is holding up, and you know, I do not see the rust peeping through the underneath of the gas block or the front post. So I'll take this as a plus. But enough with the bullshit talk. That guy would never shut up. Let me take off the Cyclops, awesome combo by the way, 1X, and remove this magazine with the bolt hold opener follower, and let's dive underneath of the dust cover. Sometimes what I noticed too, guys, with that recoil spring, I think I would beef up the recoil spring a little bit. When I'm charging from the magazines, that first round, sometimes I have to manually push the bolt bolt carrier charging handle forward to close it on the first round. So yeah, I think it will benefit a little bit from the beefier recoil spring. Nothing here, everything is here looking good. Let me pull out bolt carrier and we'll start with the bolt, because why not? Bolt, guys, everything here is looking good. Of course, you will be watching the pictures after the cleanup. Slight, wipeout, but everything here on the locking locks, everything is looking beautiful. Like, this is really flat surfaces, no steps, no nothing. This is how you want to see that bolt looking like. And the extractor claw, no problems with the extractions, looking all good. Firing pin on the end and on the front, I do not see any deformations. If you see something what I missed, because you have these high resolution pictures in front of your eyes, let me know and we'll address this. Okay, there is that splash rear end of the bolt carrier, guys, 4,500 rounds, and this is how it's looking like. I think it grew a little bit more since the last episode. Yeah, definitely is folding up. So again, that Century Arms RAK trigger is winning. The trigger is definitely harder than the bolt carrier, and something to keep in mind. Again, I would, if this would not be a test rifle, I would beef up that recoil spring, and I'll probably reprofile the trigger hammer to minimize the effects of it. So that's the end of the bolt carrier, and channel is looking perfectly fine. There's nothing happening here. The piston and the piston head, everything here is looking good. This takes me to the trunnion. Trunnion is looking beautiful, guys. I do not see any deformations. I do not see any missing chunks of metal on the right side. On the left side, we talk about that a little bit alignment from the beginning, but this is not growing right now. That's not moving. It's not becoming any bigger, so good to see that, guys. Chamber is looking perfectly fine. Flipping to the other side, and nothing at the bottom. Rivets, quick look at the rivets after those drops. Trigger guard rivets are looking good, and on the side all the rivets are holding up. There's no light coming through. Yep, they're looking very good. Nothing here, and on the side row as well. That one rivet took a beating a little bit right beneath of the barrel pin, but that's just from the drops. Okay, let me pull out a gas tube. Here's the pirate for the Pirates Operators Union Award. Everything inside the gas tube is looking great, guys. This is really no deformation whatsoever here. Barrel, I talk about the barrel, it's nice to see it. Nothing, it shoots still fairly accurate, I would say. I can engage from the extended ranges and make the hits when it counts. So barrel is, performing so far so good. We'll see how it is looking like with the board scope on the last episode, and we'll do some accuracy testing too. And inside the gas block, I do not see any rust or anything, looking very cool. Let me check those pins. Pins are looking good. Everything here is looking good. And a little bit floppy rear side posts. I'm not sure if I talk about it. If WBP, if you guys are listening, you can make those tension springs, bend them a little bit more to increase the tension, because sometimes that rear side flops a little bit. It's like too loose. But other than this, all is looking good. And we talk about the trigger hammer. And rear trunnion, I do not see nothing on it. It's just how it should be. Yeah, I do not see deformation. It's not flat or anything. So, but you can clearly see in print marks from the system working and moving. So that goes back to that recoil spring. I'll definitely bump it up, beef it up, that recoil spring. All right, guys. That's it for this episode, with the exception, I almost screwed this up. We will do, of course, the head spacing test. So don't go anywhere. Let me set up the rifle and we'll go back to action. Woo! No-go gauge express setup. Let's see what we got, guys. And nope, rifle is not closing on the no-go gauge. One more time just to make sure. Yep, still huge resistance. And one more time just for fun. Nothing. And no change in the head spacing despite 4,500 rounds down the pipe. We'll get back for the last 500 rounds and push it through it, and we'll see how this is going to end up. But thanks for watching, thanks for being with us, and as always, thank you for supporting AKOU. Thank you, guys.